接下来的影片中，我们会透过 Betty 在 SmartTech 的专案经理经验，带出商用英文应用的场景。
欢迎来到 欧趴English， 每天为您带来丰富实用又有趣的英文内容。别忘了订阅我们的频道，并开启小铃铛，随时掌握最新精彩影片哦。
Journey to Innovation. Betty's adventures as a project manager at SmartTech.
Betty is a project manager at a tech company called SmartTech. Her desk is near Steve's, a developer who is always excited about new projects. Steve often comes to work early and is the first to say, "Good morning, Betty. Ready for another day?" Betty starts her day by checking emails and setting tasks. She has a team meeting at 10 a.m. In the meeting room, she uses charts and plans to show what needs to be done. Steve listens carefully and always asks questions like, "How can we make this more creative?" After the meeting, Betty meets with Susan, her supervisor. Susan's office is full of awards and she is known for being a strong leader. "Betty, your team is doing well, but can you challenge them more? We need to show strong results this quarter," Susan often says. One day, Steve comes to Betty's desk with an idea. "What if we add a new feature to our software? I think users will love it," he says. Betty likes the idea but feels a bit worried. New features mean more work and tighter deadlines. At the same time, Susan sends Betty an email. It says, "Betty, let's meet to discuss new goals for your team." Betty thinks, Susan always wants more. But she also knows Susan is right. The team can do more. It's a busy but usual day for Betty at SmartTech. She enjoys her work and her team but can't help wondering if there's something more exciting ahead. Betty finishes her day by updating her to-do list and checking the budget, the money they can spend. She says goodbye to Steve. "See you tomorrow, Steve. Keep thinking of those great ideas." Steve smiles and replies, "Will do, Betty." As she leaves the office at 6 p.m., Betty thinks about Steve's creative spirit and Susan's push for excellence. She feels happy but also a bit restless. Could there be a bigger adventure waiting for her in her career?
Vocabulary.
Project manager. Project manager. The person who plans and controls a project.
名词，专案经理。
Project manager. Betty is a project manager at SmartTech.
Betty 在 SmartTech 是一名专案经理。
Betty is a project manager at SmartTech. Developer. Developer. Someone who creates software.
名词，开发者。
Developer. Steve is a developer who loves new projects.
Steve 是一名喜欢新项目的开发者。
Steve is a developer who loves new projects. Feature. Feature. A part of a program that does something special.
名词，功能。
Feature. What if we add a new feature to our software?
如果我们在软体中添加一个新功能呢？
What if we add a new feature to our software? Supervisor. Supervisor. The boss of a team.
名词，主管。
Supervisor. Susan, Betty's supervisor, wants stronger results this quarter.
Susan, Betty 的主管，这个季度希望有更强的成果。
Susan, Betty's supervisor, wants stronger results this quarter. Budget. Budget. The money you plan to spend.
名词，预算。
Budget. Betty checks the budget before leaving the office.
Betty 在离开办公室前查看了预算。
Betty checks the budget before leaving the office.
Conversation.
Hi everyone, welcome back to OPAS English. Today, we have something really interesting to talk about.
We're going to discuss a story about life at a tech company. Ready? Let's jump in.
So, in our story, we have a lady named Betty. She's a project manager at SmartTech, a tech company.
And don't forget Steve. He's a developer and sits near Betty. Steve loves new projects and is always the first to say good morning.
Yeah, Steve's a happy guy. But let's talk about Betty. She's really busy, right? Checking emails, setting tasks, and meetings.
Exactly. She even has a boss named Susan who always wants more from her. Susan is a strong leader and wants the best results.
Yeah, so Betty's got a lot going on. One day, Steve comes up with a new idea for their software. But that means more work.
Yeah, new ideas are exciting, but they can also be stressful. At the same time, Susan wants to talk to Betty about new goals.
So, Betty has to balance all these things. It's not easy, but she loves her job. She wonders what's next in her career.
And that's where we leave her, wondering what big adventure might be waiting for her. It's a story many can relate to.
That's it for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. Catch you next time on OPAS English.
Collocations.
Project manager. The person who plans and controls a project. Project manager role. John recently got promoted to the project manager role.
约翰最近被提升为专案经理角色。
John recently got promoted to the project manager role. Senior project manager. As a senior project manager, Lisa oversees multiple teams.
作为资深专案经理，丽莎监督多个团队。
As a senior project manager, Lisa oversees multiple teams. Assistant project manager. Karen is working as an assistant project manager to gain more experience.
凯伦正在担任助理专案经理，以获得更多经验。
Karen is working as an assistant project manager to gain more experience. Developer. Someone who creates software. Software developer. Tim is an experienced software developer.
提姆是一位经验丰富的软件开发者。
Tim is an experienced software developer. Web developer. Sarah got her first job as a web developer.
莎拉得到了她作为网页开发者的第一份工作。
Sarah got her first job as a web developer. Game developer. Ryan dreams of becoming a game developer.
瑞恩梦想成为一名游戏开发者。
Ryan dreams of becoming a game developer.